Okay, hello everyone. We're very excited to be hosting a special Manufacturing Day event today featuring ABB, a global technology company with 110,000 employees in over 100 countries. If you have questions today during today's presentation, please put them in the chat for us and we will get to them before the end. And I'm going to introduce now our guest speaker, Omar Stewart. And he's going to go ahead and take over. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ms. April. Again, my name is Omar Stewart. Glad to have you guys with us today as we go behind the walls of global manufacturing with ABB Smart Power Business Unit here in Richmond, Virginia. So, the value of Manufacturing Day is one of the things we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about who is ABB, what we do here in Richmond, types of manufacturing jobs offered in Richmond, and a virtual facility tour. So, the value of Manufacturing Day. The skills we need are changing. Manufacturing skills are the hardest to find. Parents would encourage, only 1 out of 3 parents would encourage their children to pursue a career in manufacturing. 6 out of 10 open skill production positions are unfilled due to talent shortages. And we see by 2025, nearly 3.5 million manufacturing jobs will need to be filled. Right now, there's only enough in the pipeline of skilled students to fill 1.5 million of those jobs. So we need another 2 million. Manufacturing affects the economy. Every job in manufacturing creates another 2.5 new jobs in local goods and services. For every dollar invested in manufacturing, another 1.32 in additional value is created in other sectors. So students say they learn a lot on Manufacturing Day. Excuse me. Students who have participated in Manufacturing Day activities have come away with different perception of what manufacturing plants look like today and what career opportunities they offer. So you can see we're developing positive perception of manufacturing with students. And after today, we hope you feel the same way, because we want you to be the future pipeline of talent for ABB. Guess what? So do teachers and counselors. We found that teachers and counselors like to visit the plant as much as students. They also walk away knowing there are many career options in manufacturing, many of which don't require a 4-year degree. So, spreading the word, 71% of students are more likely to tell friends, family, parents, or colleagues about manufacturing after attending this event. So who is ABB? I'm glad you asked. ABB is a global technology pioneer. As Ms. April said earlier, we have over 140,000 employees. We're present in 100 countries. We have $36 billion in orders since 2017. And we formed in 1989 merger of Swiss BBC 1891 and Swedish ASEA 1883 engineering companies. So the world is changing around us every day, requiring new skills and abilities. If you look at utilities, industry, transport, and infrastructure, these are the 3 areas we focus around the world. We expect $7 trillion to be invested in renewables in the next 25 years. And that's why we are invested in solar space. We expect 26 billion things to be connected to the internet by 2020. That's why we are invested in ABB Ability and sensor technologies. We believe that in 12 years, more than 50% of cars sold will be electric cars. That's why we are invested in EV charging and Formula E racing series. ABB is writing the future of industrial digitalization. Every day we bring electricity from the power plant to the plug. We automate industries from natural resources to finished products. What would happen if you had no electricity in your house? How would you charge your phone, use your Wi-Fi, play your PlayStation or Xbox? How would you keep your food fresh? What if there was no way to convert uncooked foods or raw materials into the foods we love? There's nothing wrong with loving raw food, but I bet there are a few things you'd miss. And people make a difference. The best want to work in a first-class environment. And ABB is one of the world's top global companies. ABB also attracts top performers with its inclusive culture. ABB strives for excellence and integrity and social responsibility. And ABB aims for a culture of leadership at every level. So while we know we make unique products, it's our people that really make a difference from our competition. And we want to be the place people want to go to work. And ABB cares about diversity and inclusion. Events and activities that invite employees from across the organization, all are welcome. These are a few some of the areas that we cover. U.S. Encompass Young Professionals, U.S. Encompass Hispanic and Latinx, U.S. Encompass Pride, U.S. Encompass Military and Allies, U.S. Encompass Black Professionals. So what is it we do in Richmond? Right here, the Richmond plant has 256 employees, 3,170 assemblies per month, 145,000 square feet under roof, and 3 different shifts per day, 5 days per week. And these are our business functions. We have power protection, we have EV charging, we have traction, we have serve protection LPG, and we also have services or field services. So where does this impact the world with surge protection? Protection and monitoring for the entire industry site. Current Technology and Joslin brands, manufactured in Richmond, Virginia. We the broadest line of sophisticated power quality and surge suppression products with systems that provide protection and monitoring for entire industry sites. That includes service entrance, mid-level distribution, and panel board distribution. So when it comes to traction converters, it's one single interface to the traction train supplier, which includes global footprint, AC grid voltage applications, DC grid voltage applications, diesel generator applications, and multi-system and hybrid applications. When it comes to power protection, which was founded in 1968, acquired by ABB in 2012, currently has 200 plus employees, headquartered in Richmond, Virginia, in design, manufacture, and service, data center offering, double conversion UPS, static transfer switches, power distribution units, remote power panels, and 24/7 data center services for UPS, STS, PDU, generators, and battery maintenance. And we also have the industrial offering of dual conversion UPS, DC chargers, and inverter with static switch, and 24/7 UPS maintenance services. So let's take a look closer at what we do. We have the SPD, which is a surge protection device. It's designed to protect electronic systems and equipment against transient surge conditions. We have PDU, which is a power distribution unit. Reliable, uninterruptible power is critical to the mission of any organization's data center. We have STS, or static transfer switch, engineered to protect critical loads. The CyberX Super Switch is the cornerstone of redundant power. We have UPS, which is uninterruptible power supply, protection against all power failures, voltage regulation, power factor correction, and harmonics. So we're going to take a look at some of the manufacturing jobs in Richmond. So it takes a lot from us to take care of our customers when it comes to manufacturing, supply chain, engineering, quality, logistics, sales, research and development, marketing, human resources, finance, and field services. So you're going to be hearing from quite a few of our team members as they go over some of their job and responsibilities. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Okay, take it away.
Help if I can mute it first. Morning, everyone. Thanks, Amar. My name is Ryan Garrett. I'll be discussing the production team. As part of the production team, we are responsible for building the units that we ultimately send to the customers. We use various instructions to do so, like technical drawings, electrical drawings, work instructions. A typical work day is going to be working with small teams, working with your hands, building up the units in stages. Starting with stage 1 all the way to stage 5, where we build the frame, we put everything in, nuts, bolts, put everything together, then you run the electrical wire, electrical components, everything like that, and ultimately you send it off to test. To get this job, all you need is a high school degree. However, the people doing this job have a wider range of educations, all the way from high school diploma up to 4 years bachelor's degrees. And the greatest benefits to this job is working with your hands, building something from the stage ground up and you ultimately are helping millions of people with the product you build every day. And that's it. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle Miller, and I'm one of the production supervisors here at ABB. So I want to go over some of the things under my belt, what I do every day when I come to work. So the definition of the role is management level employee in charge of overseeing the production of our company, delegating responsibilities to production teams, create team leadership positions to oversee groups of employees, create goals that align with key performance indicators, monitor and enforce our company's policy and safety standards. We also look at work volume. We also look at work processes on the floor. We look at the capacity of people that we have. If we need to bring in more people, it's just making sure that the floor is ran effectively and efficiently so we can produce what we need to produce and get it out on time. A typical workday usually consists of lots of meetings for me, but it's monitoring and updating our daily metrics, engaging our employees through team meetings, help to remove any roadblocks that keep our team from completing their daily goals and tasks, monitor and maintain our work volume, and actively engage with our teams throughout the day to ensure we meet our goals and customer expectations. So in manufacturing, we have a lot of daily and weekly goals that we need to adhere to, especially with building product on time, meeting quality metrics, meeting shipping dates, to get things to our customers on time. So it's really important that we follow through and we monitor our tasks and we meet these goals and shipping deadlines. So experience needed for a production supervisor, a bachelor's degree that meets the criteria of production and manufacturing. Six Sigma certification, and in case you guys, some of you guys don't know what Six Sigma is, it's just a way of looking at process to have a near perfect process, to take away any waste that we don't want in a process so we can make our deliverables that much better for our customers. It's all about the value we're trying to give our customers and needing this in their processes and what they give us. So also with this, it's very physical. So if you're a type of person who likes to move every day, you're big on moving, and that's what this is. Production and manufacturing is all about mobility and being able to move things and people accordingly to where we need them to be. So it's a very physical job. One of the things that I really like about it. The benefits of this is, having the knowledge and skills, processing an order from the beginning to the end, knowing that process of what it takes to get an order from the quote coming in the door to shipping and going out of the door. So that's the benefits of knowing this process in our manufacturing business. And then just engaging with the different levels of people, understanding what every process does, how it can become a domino effect of what we do and what we don't do that will affect another sale or another person that's down the line. And then also staying active in continuous improvement, continuously looking for ways and processes to make our process better every single day, utilizing the talent that we have and also bringing in new talent so we can do things better every day. So that's my perspective. That's my output for a production supervisor. Anybody have any questions? All right, guys, thank you. You guys have a great one.
Omar? All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Jamie Martz, and I'm a quality technician too at the Richmond ABB facility. And I'm just going to go over a few aspects of our day-to-day life and what I experience. All right, so first off, we're going to start with the definition of my role. And basically, we're the link between engineering, production, and the customer. What that means is that from the second that parts are received on the production floor and until after they're completed, tested, sent off to the customer, and then received by the customer and installed in the site, we are responsible for every aspect of that. And what that entails is we ensure that all product that leaves the facility will meet the customer's expectations in terms of appearance, accuracy of mechanical and electrical drawings as it relates to the unit makeup. We verify any parts in question that are built to and ensure that they are built to engineering specification. Because we deal with a lot of suppliers on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes we have human error, which happens, and we need to verify that everything is accurate according to what the engineers draw. And finally, we ensure consistency between the unit builds. We are the voice of our customers, as I also previously stated. Typical workday will involve answering any questions that the production has about the current product they are building, following up with engineering if changes are required to any documentation, alerting all parties of an error from one of our suppliers, and then finally, inspect fully built units before they are wrapped and shipped to the customer. Our experience required is a minimum of a high school diploma. Work within manufacturing environment is a must. Skills needed, a key eye for attention to detail, and a very process-driven mindset. And then finally, benefits. We gain a knowledge from all aspects of a fully completed product and an understanding of how every department operates. And that includes from project management side, production, test, packaging, and then also field service, for example. And because of this knowledge from all these aspects, we actually gain many doors of opportunity for career advancement. And that's it from me. If there's any questions, please let me know.
Hello everyone, can you hear me? Cool. All right, my name is Katie Thompson and I'm a manufacturing engineer. So basically what I do is I create work instructions to build our products that Omar was talking about. I support operators and when they're working on the products. If they have any problems, I'll help them troubleshoot and we'll help figure out what's wrong and how to make it better. And if there's any things in the processes that need improvement, I also help there. And by doing this, I'll help the operators build the products faster and with less errors. So my typical workday looks like about half on the floor and half working at the computer, which is why I really like it. Kind of echoing what Michelle said. If you like to move around and be on the floor and doing a lot of different things, then this is the job for you. So about the half the day I am at my desk, I'll be working on work instructions or creating checklists. And then the other half where I'm on the floor, I'll be working on units or improving processes or getting input from the operators to figure out what can make the process better. The experience needed, I have a bachelor's of science and engineering, specifically industrial engineering, but I believe you could probably have any bachelor's of science and engineering to perform this job effectively. I also have an MBA, which I think is helpful, but it's definitely not required for this role. The reason I really like this job, one of the benefits is I get to interact with a lot of different departments throughout my day. So I'm interacting with different people from the supply chain department, production department, and service department. So that's an overview of what I do in a typical day, and if there are any questions, let me know. If not, pass it along.
Good morning. My name is Taylor Miller, and I'm a mechanical design engineer at ABB. I'll start by talking a little bit about what my role looks like. As engineers, we have the opportunity to turn a set of requirements, whether that is an idea from a product manager, something that the product manager would like to see us invent, or whether it's a specification from a particular customer. If we have a customer that says they want exactly this product to look that way, we'll design it that. So we'll take requirements, wherever they come from, and turn them into a fully realized fire protection product. And what I mean by fully realized is that we're going to go from an idea on paper or an idea that happens in a conversation, and it's going to turn into something that we actually get to build on our production floor and physically ship to a customer and see it in operation. A typical workday for me varies a lot based on what stage of a project we're in. Our projects are pretty long. They tend to run anywhere from 6 to 9 months up to maybe 18 months. And the things that I do on a daily basis change as the project progresses. So at the beginning of a project, we spend a lot of time deciding what the new product should do and how it should do it. So this is still sort of the high level conversations, sketching things on paper, putting some preliminary ideas together, discussing in groups, how can we solve this problem? What should our solution look like? And we'll spend time doing that. Once our solution becomes something that we feel like we can really run with and turn into something that'll work, we move to making 3D models and 2D electrical schematics. So that's work on my computer doing 3D modeling. That image on the right is a model of a 3D model of one of our static transfer switches. And so we spend whatever time is necessary to turn those ideas from paper into something that is closer to real. It's three-dimensional. It has a look and feel, but you can't quite reach out and touch it. So the next stage of our project is to build engineering prototypes. We tend to build these ourselves when we can. The hands-on building of engineering prototypes really helps me learn what works well, what doesn't, what goes together well, what doesn't, what can we do to improve the manufacturability of a product, how do we make it easier to build, and how do we make it more reliable for our customer. So we get some hands-on time building a prototype, and then we move to evaluating that prototype and redesigning where needed. So it's kind of a cycle. We go back to the computer, back to the 3D models, and we make changes where we need to, redesign things, reprototype if needed. And then finally, we move into the phase of the project where we turn all these ideas into something that can actually be built by the production team, tested by the test team, and then shipped out to our customer. So there are all kinds of drawings needed to specify the particular components that we need to buy, to put together, documents to specify how it goes together, where we put nuts and bolts, where wires go here and there and everywhere. And so that final phase of the project is really critical in communicating to the rest of the team what the product should look like so that we can build it repeatedly. Experience needed for a design engineer. It's a bachelor's degree in engineering. There are paths to success through experience, but having an engineering degree will really get you started on the right foot, particularly for the design engineering. The benefit of this role, in my opinion, is seeing something go from an idea in my head to a real product that we can deliver to a customer. It's a pretty amazing feeling to see a product in use in a customer's facility and think about the time that I spent thinking about what it should look like and how it should work, and then seeing it actually work in person is pretty awesome. So that's a quick glance into engineering design. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'd love to answer them. Otherwise, I will hand it off.
Well, good morning, everyone. And I am the senior HR business partner at the site. And I have to tell you that I'm really excited about this opportunity to talk to students. So I'm going to kind of work backwards for a minute. I'm going to talk about the benefit and why I'm excited. So I'm in a position that influences people, change their lives, and it's an opportunity I love this opportunity to talk to you guys, because a lot of times you're in school. I think I have audience that are middle school and high school students. So sometimes, we go through school, we're not really sure what we want to do, what kind of career we want. And we graduate, and some of us go off to college and know exactly what we want to do, and others are still kind of trying to figure out things. So manufacturing is a great opportunity. This manufacturing day is a great opportunity to introduce students to jobs in manufacturing. And so that's why I really wanted to be on this call today to say, if you're not really sure what you want to do, definitely reach out with questions. If you want follow up, we're more than happy to follow up with you about how to break into some of the opportunities. Sometimes we can circumvent a degree and take technical skills. There's avenues through college, through technical schools, through on-the-job training. So I just want to put that out there. So that's what my benefit is. I'm very excited about what I do because it changes people's lives. But anyway, so in HR, we have many hats in the manufacturing environment. When you think of HR, most people think of, well, HR, you hire someone, you fire someone, and pretty much make sure people get paid. But it's a lot more to HR than just hire, fire, and get people paid. So I have a master's degree. I have a couple of master's degrees. My first master's is in marketing and communication. And my second master's degree is in human resource management and organization development. And the reason that I have the 2 degrees is and my undergrad is in political science and business. So I have these multiple degrees because everything that goes into the role of an HR person, you really need to have some background and understanding of how to drive change, effective communication. So when I look at my role as an organization development manager and HR manager, the function in this role is really driving initiatives. So when you look here, some of the roles in upper management, recruitment and selection, performance management, learning and development, career planning, compensation and job evaluations, rewards and recognition. If you look at this list, you see it's all about people. So when you think about HR is probably the most important role you can have in an organization, because without that position, you really don't have the right people in the right roles helping you to grow and develop your talent or helping you to grow as an organization. So people like Taylor is our engineer that's recently been promoted to team lead position. So, conversations with people, like finding out what do you want to do? What's important to you? So that development piece is very important in the role of an HR person. So when you think of the overall definition of a role, it's the person that's responsible for developing and moving talent and helping an organization to be successful through the talent that they recruit and retain. So a typical day in an HR business partner's job is lots of emails, lots of voicemails. So I come in, the first thing I do in the morning is check my emails, check my voicemail. Usually I have a couple of people that want to talk with me. So it's a daily interaction with people, be it phone or face-to-face. Lots of meetings. I think Michelle, our supervisor, talked about meetings. There are lots of meetings. And now that we're working remotely, there's even more meetings because where we were face-to-face, now we're having to meet through different technology tools. I spend a lot of time with the managers. So my role at the plant right now is really looking at talent development. So I'm spending a lot of time with managers and talking through their talent and making sure that everyone has a development plan and you have a succession plan. And when we talk about succession planning, that is looking at your role and saying, hey, if I left the company today, who's going to backfill me? So it's very important that we have those kind of conversations. So that's kind of my typical work day. In the HR role, we're communicating. We're having to be the strategic planner, planning for the future, forecasting talent. Tactical is doing the day-to-day management of people and workforce practices. And then also the administrative, make sure people are getting paid correctly, make sure that their vacation is entered correctly, developing processes for onboarding. Experience needed. So if you were interested in an HR role, I would say the best way to break into HR right out of high school is through a staffing service. You can get roles like staffing coordinator, HR assistants. Usually temp agencies are always looking for someone to put in a position as a temp, and usually those temps transition over to a full-time hire. Mid-level, usually that's an HR generalist or a supervisor role. That's a 4-year degree. They usually want someone with 2 to 3 years experience. And it depends on the size of the company. The larger the company, the more experience they want you to have. Sometimes the smaller companies are not necessarily degree focused, but they want to see that you have there's something called the human resource certifications, and that's through a company called the Society of Human Resource Management. If you're looking to advance your career in HR and you want to get to a senior level or more specific type of roles in HR, like a benefit manager or training manager, then the 4-year degree would be required. And as you move up into senior management, the master's degree and at least 10 to 12 years experience would be required. All right. Any questions? So in the bottom, real quick, I just want to just kind of highlight, when you think about people and managing talent, there's four categories that we look at. Sourcing, so that's the recruiting, acquisition of talent. Alignment, that is making sure that we look at the diversity and inclusion. That is making sure that we have the right people in the right jobs, that we are identifying the talent, we're being fair and consistent about our practices in promoting and hiring. The learning and developing, we want to make sure that people are getting the right training and resources to take their career to the next level, that managers understand how to manage talent, and talent, if they're having issues with their development opportunities or if there's training needed for the roles that they're in, we will make sure that they're getting that training. We do assessments on a regular basis just to get that highlight of a person's potential. And then you have the rewards and recognition. So at the end of the day, it's about recruiting and retention. So the rewards and recognition comes with making sure that folks are recognized for the work that they're doing in our organizations. And that's all I have for you. And if you have questions, please make sure you put your questions in the chat.
We do have a question.
And I have a question. It's her name Kish.
Yes.
So we have never offered a high school student an internship, but that would be something that I would definitely could put on the table and consider. So I've worked at other companies that we've done high school co-ops. So let's keep April. If you do me a favor, let's have another conversation about that, and we may be able to do something for the summer students.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So my name's Derek Evett. I've been with ABB for about 8 years, so I'm going to be explaining a little bit to you about planning and fulfillment and procurement and logistics. So I'm an operations supply planner and material manager. So definition of what that role actually means is, I work with a lot of P&F functions in the business, is basically what we call it. But material planning, inventory management, master data, supplier engagement, disruptions, customer and supplier forecasting, new product development. But essentially all those align to the same thing. And if it's a material and it's something that comes in the factory, something that leaves the factory, then, P&F is going to be involved with figuring out how to get it there and how to manage the inventory while it's there with its flow. So, our typical work days, mornings are going to be filled with a lot of reports. You're going to do a lot of shortage, inventory reports. You have to get those done, because if you don't know where you're at when you get in the morning, you're not going to know what you need to do for the production team or for service teams or all the other cross-functional members that are going to need your help. And then in the afternoons, you're going to have a lot of strategic goals and functions you work on. So those tend to be more project related, new product development, working on meetings with other teams and departments. So cross-functional meetings, and basically what that means is that I'm going to work with the engineering department, I'm going to work with the quality department, I'm going to work with production. So there's going to be a lot of those. Planning and fulfillment and P&L, you'll probably hear them called supply chain management. So those are basically all fall under that umbrella. But we work with almost every department that exists inside the company. So there's really nothing we don't interact with or engage with on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, your availability is critical. So we're one of those departments that you can't just not be available. You can't be gone for 1 or 2 weeks and no one be there and everything be okay. We're pretty much having to answer questions, every hour, every day. It doesn't really go away. Answering phone calls, calling up suppliers, kind of see yourself as like a customer service rep, except for a factory. And your customer is the factory itself. You're, like I said, you're going to impact most functional areas. So, we kind of live in the day and age of getting 1,000 emails thanks to the pandemic. Before the pandemic, face-to-face conversations can help eliminate a lot of that. And that's something, if you ever go into this kind of field, I would suggest. Otherwise, a normal day for me is about 500 to 1,000 emails. Some of them you need to read, some of them you don't. It kind of gets hard to work through. So the more you can limit that, the better. Like I said, you can't really have a dismissive personality. You've got to be a very open person. You can't take things personally if you're in this kind of role, because people get frustrated. So if any of you have ever talked to a customer service agent at Amazon or any other place, if something bad's happened to your order, a lot of people have kind of bad attitudes when they're talking to them, even though they had nothing to do with the problem. Planning and fulfillment and planning and logistics or procurement and logistics see that a lot. On the experience side of things, entry-level positions, you're usually going to have some level of college education. If you don't have that, then you need some kind of equivalent experience in manufacturing. And that's mostly because planning and fulfillment touches a lot of stuff. I talked about master data. Master data pretty much means the information in our systems that govern how we function as a manufacturer. So if you're in planning, you're going to have access to a lot of that. So the expectation is you have some understanding of it before you kind of get into the system. Mid-level roles, kind of like what I am, you need about 2 to 5 years of experience, and most companies are going to require you to have a 4-year degree. A lot of them will have a preference for STEM and engineering backgrounds. You'll still see some business majors in this area, but they like to have engineers. My background's electrical engineering. So if you're somebody who's likes mathematics, likes engineering in general, but maybe likes to engage with people a little bit more, Taylor mentioned some of his projects take 6 to 9 months. When I first entered ABB, I was with R&D. I was an engineering intern at one of our transformer manufacturing facilities, and I was bored out of my mind. So you never know when you go to college and you get out, you may not like exactly what you thought you would be doing when you get to the manufacturing site. But this is just a good example that there's flexibility. Advanced level degrees for P&F, they're going to require that 4-year degree and 5 to 10 years in a manufacturing environment. You'll start to see a lot of that if you start applying to jobs on the advanced or the senior management level. And senior management, they're going to manage several manufacturing sites. So, they'll be could be 35 factories that they go and manage and deal with different people. So, they're going to normally have to have a master's degree and 10 years of experience, if not more. Those people tend to have been with companies for 20 plus years in those kind of positions. Benefits, P&F is just one of those kind of roles that there's going to be a ton of flexibility. In supply chain in general, including procurement and logistics, there's a lot of places you can move within the organization once you've been in it. You can go to quality. If you're an engineering background, you can merge into engineering, and you can come from those other areas as well. So planning doesn't really just fit one kind of skill set or one kind of a mindset when you're talking about people who are curious about it. You're going to be highly connected to the day-to-day ops at the site. So what that means is, every day somebody in production is going to need feedback from you. They're going to need to know what's going on a part, what's coming up ahead, whatever that might be, they're going to want something out of you. You're going to have end-to-end understanding of what it takes to deliver to a customer. And that doesn't mean just the product itself. It's important to understand what you're shipping, obviously. But you're also going to learn, what does it take to pay for the stuff that I'm putting my stuff together with? What's it take to get it to my factory? How long does it take to get to my customer? What kind of issues could happen? Good example on the logistics side. Let's say you're shipping something from China or India. What does it take for that part to actually get here? Everybody knows, oh yeah, we have, trade balance and all those things, but do you actually know what's it take to get a container from Beijing all the way over to Norfolk, Virginia, and get it released? What kind of things do you need, clearance? So you'll learn a lot of that kind of stuff. As I stated previously, it's less restrictive in the scope than other engineering career options. So, engineering can kind of get you pigeon-toed, so to speak, in a particular career path. But remember, if you have an engineering degree or if you go into that STEM kind of background, you're not going to be just wanted in that one kind of role. And this is a good example. You're going to have a great work-life balance compared to some other roles that are available. Some of them require a lot more travel, especially in procurement and logistics. They got to go to suppliers. You know, I know some people that travel 75% of the time before the pandemic. Obviously, you know, you can't fly as much currently, but there's a lot of travel with some of the roles. So if you're one of those people who likes to be on planes and likes to go around and, you know, meet new people and kind of gauge factories, that's a good option for you. But if you're someone who likes to stay with the factory, work a pretty standard sized hour, you know, I work, you know, normally either between 7 to 5:30 or 6 each day. Then, you know, it's a great role to have. You're going to get a lot of flexibility. So, and just outside of these and benefits, I will say that, you know, Khadijah kind of hit on it. You know, there's a lot of pressure as a kid coming out of high school. You know, I had the same pressure. You know, oh, you need to figure out your role. You need to figure out what you're going to be. What's your career? You need to have an idea of it. You can't just get out into the workforce into the world and not knowing what you want to be. But, you know, when I was 18, I ended up having to stay home to help family and work. You know, I didn't go back to college till I was 20. You know, I was a little older than the other people there, obviously, so it was a little awkward for me. And even once I finished my engineering degree, I didn't go into an engineering environment and actually enjoy myself. You know, I was a person that was a waiter and a cashier. I liked interacting with other people. So when I got put into a tiny room with test equipment and told, you know, we'll see you in a few months, you know, it was kind of hard on me. So just remember, manufacturing has a lot of flexibility, a lot of different things you can do, especially if you have a STEM or an engineering degree. It's not a requirement, but, you know, those definitely help. So, and don't worry if you don't know what you want to be when you're in your senior year of high school. I would have never told you I was going to be a materials manager when I was 17, around those ages. You know, sometimes it takes time to figure those things out. All right, if you have any questions, just go ahead and put something into the chat and I'll answer them. Otherwise, take care.
All right, great job, everybody. Thank you for presenting. Now we're going to have our virtual facility tour, and I will play that for you right now.
Hi, I'm Hans Spitzer. I'm the general manager here at ABB Richmond. Today we're going to take you on a virtual tour. Before we get started on our tour, we just need to go over a few safety items. At ABB, safety's first. Our biggest concern right now is protecting our employees from the COVID virus. When you enter our facility, the first thing you'll have to do is get your temperature taken to make sure that you're not sick. Additionally, we've implemented social distancing measures here. You'll find that the office is very sparse, and what we're trying to do is only keep the critical employees needed to support the operations in the facility. This limits the amount of contact we have with each other. We've also separated our break rooms so that there's more room, and we maximize the use of collaboration tools such as Teams and SharePoints so that we can continue to be productive even when we're not in the office. Now let's begin the tour. The Richmond facility is the center of excellence for power protection here in North America. In total, we have 150,000
Looks like the video has stopped. Maybe having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, it looks like Omar has been kicked, but I could be wrong, at least from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it looks like Omar was.
We're getting unstable internet connection right now as well.
Okay. Send that link out when we send out the rest of the information from today. We really appreciate your time today. This has been
you.
really
Appreciate
great.
you, ladies.
Thank you
very
all.
much.
Yep. Thank you for your time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.